Okay, today I'm going to show you a little bit of statistics that we can do, a couple of graphs that we can do in statistics. I need to open a new window. Okay, so I have the stat view on. I'm going to turn the algebra view off for a minute so we can see a little better. And I'm just going to make a list of, say, potential test scores. Okay, so let's say we have, a really bad one, 35 and a 42, 56, 57. And then maybe no 60s, and we jump to a 71, 75, 76, 82, 83, 95, and a 98. So let's just say we have those 11 test scores. Let's see some of the things we can do with that. Let's create a list. So I'm going to left click, hold down and drag, and then right click, create a list. So I'm going to change the views. Let's turn the spreadsheet off and the algebra on. We'll see we have the list. Okay, there's nothing on the graph because this is just a list of numbers, not a list of points. Okay? But what can we do with that thing? Well, you can do a lot of statistics commands. You can do the mean of L1. To do the subscript, you use an underscore. So the mean of L1 is a 70. The median of L1, the middle score, is a 75. We can do the mode. I don't know if I had any repeats in the list. Let's go ahead and see what it tells us. The mode is empty because all my numbers appeared once. Let's go back and change that. Let me add another 98 at the end. And my list, it didn't add it to the list because I don't have a 12 in the list. There we go. And now the mode is a 98 because 98 appears twice. Turn the spreadsheet back off. So we've got the mean, the median, the mode. You can do the min, the smallest number in the list, which was a 35. You can do the max, the largest number in the list. You can do the quartiles, Q1, so the 25% quartile. You can do Q3, the 75% quartile. And then for the variance, you can do the variance and standard deviation. The variance of L1 is 406.39, and the standard deviation, which is the square root of that, we just do SD. So the standard deviation, 20.16 here. So you can do a lot of numerical descriptive data, and you can do a box plot to show the 5-number summary. The box plot, for that, I'm first going to enter L1 and just show you. If you don't enter all the arguments, it'll actually tell you. That's one way to get it to tell you what you need. So you can do it with the raw data. You can also do it with the 5-number summary, the min, Q1, the median, Q3, and the max. But you have to tell it the y offset and the y scale. It will use the numbers to create the x scale. But in the y direction, you have to tell it how high and how thick to make the graph in the y direction. So let's say that we want to start up around 2 and have a thickness of 1 in the y direction. Okay, it's done, and it tells us that I equals 75.5. That's the median. It labels the box plot with the median. Can't see it because of the window. Let's move this over a little bit and change the axis. So in the x direction, let's go from -10 to make sure we see completely capturing this, -10 to 110. And there's our box plot, okay, with the median labeled at 75.5. So that's how you make a box plot. Okay. Let's put a histogram on top of this thing. To do a histogram, you have to tell it first a list of the boundary points, what your bends start and end at. So we go from 0 to 10 to 20 to 30. I'm going to count by 10 since these were grades. To 40 to 50 to 60 to 70 to 80 to 90 to 100. And then I can tell it to use L1 for the raw data, and it makes a histogram. Okay. And what it does, instead of using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it actually does everything between 0 and 1, and it uses 0.1 for 1, 0.2, 0.3, and so on. So we had one that made in the range of 30 to 40. Let's go back and change that and set it more to like what letter grades would be. So here's our histogram object properties. let's make our bins. Let's leave the upper ones alone, but let's do 0 to 50, or how about 0 to 60. See who made below a 60, and then we'll leave the other bins. So there we have the students in that range, that range, that range. So you get the histogram. I didn't have any that made a 60. So that's how you can make a histogram and a box plot.